You are looking live at the Nemisphere on this February Saturday night as we welcome you in for tonight's matchup. It's the Louisiana Revolution coming into town to take on the Seattle Nemesis. This is the Simulation Football League on YouTube, powered by APM Music. And good evening, I am Cameron Duty, and I'm joined by my friend Mark Lopez for tonight's game. Mark, it's great to be with you tonight in Seattle. We have two stout teams going head-to-head. Tell me what matchups you're looking at tonight.
Well, it's got to be Louisiana's defense, who has been stellar the first quarter of the season, going up against Seattle's dynamic offense, headed by Type Tack, the quarterback who has been decent passing-wise, but his dynamicism contributing in the run game. We'll see how Louisiana tries to contain that, and if their defense can help propel their offense and, keep things on their favor throughout the game.
Yes, certainly one thing to note, this is a pretty rare matchup in the fact that there is just one previous contest between these two opponents, which took place in week 9 of season 20, with Louisiana taking the victory 24-14. Folks, it is time for kickoff. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a beverage. As I like to say, you're not going anywhere for the next hour and a half or so. Kickoff is underway. Louisiana will start from the 27-yard line. Let's take a quick look at the starting lineup, led by quarterback Tommy Utah, the halfbacks Dwayne Salmons, Chris Grant Jr., the fullbacks Cameron Collier and Noah Scott, the wide receivers Mike Twinscrew, Adam Banks, Salvatore Napoli, Reggio Denaro, tight ends Levy Lease, John Michael Sudeth, Tyler Gregory, the tackles Odette Boudreau, Ray Lafayette, Sergey Katzlov, and Cole Katz as they go under center on first down. Utah back to throw. That pass over the head of the intended target. That was intended for Mike Twinscrew. Brings up second down.
Mike Twinscrew, one of the two leading receivers for Tommy Utah. Tommy Utah has been slinging it and distributing it to many of his receivers. He has 3 receivers with over 100 yards in the season. One of them was Twinscrew with over 200.
Tommy Utah stats coming in, needing to improve in the touchdown game. We'll see if he can do it tonight. Quick drop off this time to the halfback, leveled after about a 5-yard gain, 3rd and 5. Let's take a look at this defense real quick for Seattle. The defensive ends, Connor O'Shaughnessy and Darko Young, James Ramos, defensive tackles, Sean Parrott, Aaron Stein, the linebackers, Matthias Crichton, TJ Harper, Sabo Kanan, Aaron Gooden, and we'll pause for this play on 3rd down. Utah to throw, and it is complete over the middle. A really nice reception, reeled in that time by number 84, Reggio Denaro. And we'll continue with the defense here for Seattle. The cornerbacks, Amar Bryant Jr., Daniel Valentine, and Ricky Robinson. The free safety, TJ Frosty, and the safeties, Doug Day and Brian James. That brings us to a fresh set of downs for Louisiana, just at midfield here. You see the purple numbering on the field, very unique with the purple coloring of the team, and that is snuffed out quickly. A big tackle for Seattle. Aaron Gooden on the stop.
And Aaron Gooden showing and continuing what he has been doing, especially from last week's game where he got a few tackles for losses. Has a total of 5 in this season, Cameron, and shows off another one there.
3-yard loss, 2nd and 13. Seattle looking to thwart this nice offensive series so far by Louisiana. Utah rolls and throws, and that was dangerous. It could have been intercepted and probably should have been. Amar Bryant Jr. was in the area.
His first pass deflection of the season, and the defense, after giving up the offense all the way to the midfield, are starting to clamp up and hopefully will try to get themselves out of the field here, Cameron.
Yeah, you talk about Tommy Utah. He's had a tough time with interceptions so far this season. 5 interceptions, as we said, just to 1 touchdown. That could have easily been a 6th right there. But nevertheless, 3rd and 13. Man in motion. Utah again to throw and rolling. Rolling out of pressure, steps up. He couldn't find anybody downfield, and he runs into a line of nemesis. That is 4th down, the punting unit on the way.
And that is just the defensive backs playing impeccable coverage. We won't see a good replay here, but we'll get a replay of the linebackers making a great tackle as Utah. You mentioned he found no one despite having pretty much 5 years in the backfield.
Vida Lee now on to punt for Louisiana, and a low snap. That was almost dropped, but she did a good job of picking that one up. And a nice punt, honestly, fair catch to the 15-yard line. We'll take a look at the Seattle offense. Let's start with the quarterback, number 11, Ty Patak. The halfbacks, Baloo Scott and J.W. Doyle. The fullback, Dean Jackson. Wide receivers, Ryan Arlovsky, Gus Scott, John Fullerton, Justice Blackwell. The tight ends, Ben Harrison and Polly Truth. The tackles, Will Stevens, Olin Thump. The guards, Kobe Beef and Matty Mack, and the center, Sean Sullivan. 1st and 10 on the 15 for this very high potent offense of Seattle. Delivering early, and it is incomplete over the middle, 2nd down, and we will go over the defense for Louisiana quickly. The defensive ends, Brian Craven, Gary Burney. The defensive tackle, Chance Wall. The linebackers, Tommy Wilbrock, Bussy, and Chuck Diesel. Gary Clem, Blake Be Crazy, Slyn Shady, and the cornerbacks, Evan Arthur, Rolliman Hood, Dante Grimm, Tank Bennett, Nathan Blake, and Ronnie Shanahan Jr. as we go on 2nd and 10 after that deflection. That pass also just off the mark. That's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and this time Louisiana trading blows and showing the strength of their own defensive backs. Nobody wide open. Type attack pretty much throwing to nobody. He's forced to his first 3rd and long in the evening. He's going to be forced with a 5 wideout set here, Cameron.
Yeah, Type Attack on a tear so far this season, coming into this game with a 55% completion rate. Now, again to the air, and that's what makes them so good. Wide open that time. In the flat is Arlovsky, 1st down.
Yeah, he's such a good quarterback, but it also helps to have such a good weapon in Ryan Arlovsky picking up his 7th catch reception of the season. He's sitting at almost 200 yards. That'll put him to just under 200 for the season. And I mean, he has so many weapons. He has his 2 tight ends, Polly Truth, Ben Harrison, and then Arlovsky with a nice catch there.
Absolutely. Wide receivers as well, Gus Scott and John Fullerton putting up good stats early this season. They keep it on the ground, and take a look at that. A absolutely beautiful spin move that time. And Baloo Scott with a nice gain on 1st down.
Yeah, she picks up 8 yards there. She's averaging 3.9 in the season. Good for about 21. But a good start for her, and hopefully that'll power their offense through down the field.
This team is so dynamic, so flashy. Take a look at this. Quarterback keeper up the middle. And Ty Patak says, I think I'll take a run or two if you don't mind. 1st and 10.
And that's what makes this offense dynamic, is that they not only do they have their 2-star halfbacks in Baloo Scott and J.W. Doyle, Type Attack himself can run the ball and is a threat when he does run the ball, Cameron.
So a fresh set of downs here for Seattle, and they go back to the air across the middle of the field, and another impressive completion. Polly Truth, we know what kind of year he has had. Mark, tell us a little bit about it.
He has been having an exceptional season. The leading receiver of the team with 23. That's just outside top 10 in all receivers and 330 receiving yards, showing right there, taking advantage of the open area of the zone as Louisiana sat back deep with their defensive backs. Polly Truth said, here I am underneath, gave me the ball, and sure enough, Patak found him.
The Polly Truth is 6'6", 250 pounds. He has speed as well as size. Now, a run by the fullback, completely bulldozing the defender. That's J.W. Doyle, 2nd and 2 now.
A little bit of contrasting running style. You saw Baloo Scott spin out of a to-be tackler. Meanwhile, Doyle, destroying his defender, brings him to the ground, sends him to the shadow realm, and picks up 8 yards. So both halfbacks picking up 8 yards for their team in this drive.
Yeah, Nathan Blake had to make sure that the helmet was turned around again in the right direction before the next play. 2nd and 2 now. Seattle still on the move. Look at Patak again.
Oh
Oh,
my.
the shiftiness. It's impressive to watch. 1st down again for the Nemesis.
It's his vision. He sees a slight opening for him to run through. And of all the quarterbacks in the league, he's the one of the few who pretty much can just line up and halfback position himself and run with the ball. You saw right there, finding the gap. That's the kind of thing halfbacks do. Finding the gap and jumping the gap.
Well, it's hard enough to keep him honed in. Then you add the ground game, and that's something else. So there we go. J.W. Doyle once again with a nice run of a couple there. Gets them up to 2nd and 3.
Yeah, just mixing it up. Everyone's running the ball. So 3 type attack, Doyle and Scott each having a couple of carries, and you just keep the defense guessing who's gonna run. When Patak, drops back, is he gonna pass or is he gonna run? And look at where they are in the red zone already.
Yeah, and important to note, a fast-moving first quarter. Seattle leads in time of possession. On the ground again, going to come up a little short this time. That will bring up 3rd and 1, a nice play by Louisiana.
We'll see here what Louisiana has dialed up for defense against 3rd and 1. How they answer the technically triple threat of Patak, Doyle, or Scott running with the ball.
It's a rollout. Patak going to keep it. And again, wide open spaces. He cuts back to the mid portion of the field between the hash marks. 1st and goal for the Nemesis.
Nice bootleg over there by Patak as he curls to the outside where there's nobody there. Could have gotten an extra block as well for number 34. Could have sprung for more yards, but that is still a 1st down for them. And it's also a 1st and goal.
Give credit to Dante Graham. He initially got beat as Patak cut back upfield, back towards the middle of the field. He stayed with the play and made an important tackle. Now, pitch, and that one looked like it was going to be stopped behind the line. They are going to at least say forward progress, 2nd and goal.
Yeah, good tackle there. Rolman Hood credited with the hit, but out of a 3-front show, one of the linebackers actually sprung and got behind the line of scrimmage to slow down the halfback.
Yeah, Louisiana's defense is stellar, limiting the opponents to just under 17 points a game, roughly. Can they come up and make a stand here on the ground again? And a 3rd down coming up right now. They're beginning to kind of clamp down.
Yeah, they sure are. And finally, after conceding about 60 yards in this drive, hopefully they get off the field here and only force a field goal. But look at this. 4 wideouts and your halfback in the backfield.
Oh, they're going to absolutely make Louisiana work for it. Patak to throw to the end zone, and it is intercepted. What a play by Hood. A great job of coming in and snagging and whipping a player down. Add insult to injury. Fullerton is down after that interception.
The worst 2 things happening at the same time. Turnover, and you go 1 man down. Thankfully, John Fullerton will have an entire defensive drive to rest it off Cameron, but that is the worst ending to an incredible drive by Seattle.
And no points to show for it, and an injury to add to the insult. 1st and 10 now for Louisiana. The defense comes up big, and now will this offense respond? On the ground they go. A quick carry of about 2, and it's interesting to mention, Mark, Louisiana, they're really ground and pound at the purest form, right?
They sure are. I mean, they're totaling 118 carries before this game. That's number 9 in the league. It's their average as well, 3.6, a little in the middle of the league, but it has been carrying them for their 2 wins.
On the ground again, they keep it with Salmons, and Salmons gets a few more, so 3rd and 5, a quick 3rd down coming up on this drive.
I guess to add to that point about their ground game, sure they are run heavy, but for them it has been, it has been positive for them. Dwayne Salmons' last game, an incredible showing, pretty much sealed the deal in a very close win against Mexico last week.
3rd and 5. Utah to throw over the middle, and it was in and out of the intended receiver's hands. He took a shot, and I believe that was the wide receiver, Reggio Dinero, the intended target.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, unfortunate. In and out of the hands, unable to capitalize on the turnover forced by Seattle. I guess that's the one thing that Louisiana is still trying to search answers for, is their offense, which is sitting at 23rd overall in the league in terms of points per game. And right there, another scoreless drive.
And Vita Lee with the kick, and the ball was returned to the 38. And we will once again set up shop here for the Nemesis. Now, if you're just tuning in, Fullerton injured on that last offensive series. We will see if he's able to check back in the game or if he will still be out as we begin this drive. 1st and 10, as we said, on the 38-yard line for the Nemesis.
Very good ball position for them.
I'll take a look at this form here. There was 3 at the top. They bring down a receiver to the bottom of your screen. Attack to throw. Nope. Steps up, runs, and gets positive yardage there. A gain of 6.
And he is so speedy once he breaks out for a run. Quick 6 yards from him. And that's the threat of type attack. And once again, they keep rolling here, Cameron.
Rolling indeed. Yet to put points on the board, but they certainly have gained a lot of yardage early in this game. Roll out again to Patak. Takes off, uses those feet, starts to slide. No, instead stays upright, but not before getting the first down.
Yeah, and you saw right there, Alleman Hood could have made the tackle way earlier, but had to sit back deep because type attack, even though he was rolling out, could have thrown to the receiver who was just behind Alleman Hood.
Yeah, type attack, putting on a clinic early in this game.
Oh, blitz.
Now, and it's caught. Ollie Truth, nice job of Patak standing in, knowing the blitz was coming at him, and Truth with a nice reception. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 3. With about 1:10 left this first quarter, folks, we hope you have enjoyed it. It's been an action-packed first quarter, and it certainly seems to have left us rather quickly. The handoff. Trapped behind the lineman. That's a loss. 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4, but so far as 3rd down goes, they have been pretty solid. You know, the only red mark in their 3rd down conversion rate was the turnover in their previous drive.
So big 3rd down and 4 here. Louisiana has shown they can make the big stop when needed. Can they get it again? Patak, plenty of time, and he's dangerous with his feet, but he sets up and he throws, and another first down, this time utilizing number 87 on the play, and that will bring up, again, a first down.
He's just doing everything right, making the right decisions, and it's not like boring play. It's type attack knows his stuff and makes the exciting play as well.
That's Truth in motion. This should be the final play of the first quarter. Patak rolls out. The throw, nice one-handed reception that time by Ryan Arlovsky. Great job to keep this drive alive.
So we'll see here, Patak already up to almost 50 yards in the night. 4 completions out of 7 attempts. No, only 1 interception, but so far so good from Patak.
And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. We are scoreless in Seattle. You're watching the Simulation Football League on YouTube. With my partner, Mark Lopez, my name is Cameron Duty, and let's give a call to Joshua Durr and Dakota Butts in the stat truck. Cameron Irvine on the production end of things, and we're just having a great time spending a Saturday night watching this very close football game. Patak to throw to the end zone, and he has that one in and out of the hands of his receivers. Kind of a dangerous throw into double coverage, Mark.
Kind of dangerous, but very aggressive from type attack. You really see how much he wants to go for the end zone and score off of his throwing arm, and once again throws into coverage. You know, Louisiana really licking their fingers. They were hoping that that would have been another turnover.
On second down, man in motion. Blackwell, who we saw go to the top of the screen. The throw to the end zone. Touchdown. Gus Scott. Seattle strikes first.
It strikes first, and Gus Scott pretty much blows by his man and does the work, gets the target, hauls in the catch. Look right here. Breaks one man's ankles and then just wide open, and that is Type Attack and company hitting first, striking first for 6.
They went back to attack number 28, Hood, who actually made the interception on the previous series before. That time, he gets burned on the play, and Seattle is on to attempt the extra point by Victor Ironleg. And the kick is good. An 8-play drive, which only took 2 minutes and 24 seconds off the clock, but Seattle puts the first points up on the scoreboard of the day. Liking that game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel continue to grow through your support. A nice return to the 29-yard line for the Revolution, and they are still looking for their first offensive production of the day.
Yeah, they definitely have not been producing much at all. We look at the total yards. Louisiana, Cameron, get this, 26 total yards so far, and it's already in the second quarter compared to Seattle's 138 total yards. You look at the time of possession, 3 minutes by Louisiana compared to Seattle's 7. So really, this offense needs to start generating something.
Incredible. You're right about that, Mark. One other thing that it could do, it can wear out, it can tire this Louisiana defense quickly. Now, on first down, they throw in and out of the receiver's hands again in good coverage, and it's second down.
Yeah, well defended. And as much as that's a great receiver to target in Adam Banks, right? You cover him, put him in double coverage, so that even if the ball was in the hands, it was in the hands of Adam Banks, you force it off with a hit, and that's what happens right there.
Second down. 2 men up at the top of the screen, as you can see, and Utah to throw. That is a nice catch, a nice reception, and I believe that that's a candidate there for the nice hands catch of the game. Brought to you by Richwood. Put a Richwood handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K23. Look at how the effort was there, Mark, to reel that in.
Yeah, good stuff from Twins Crew. So Twins Crew, another nice catch from him. After the other nice catch, or at least the other nice play he had earlier in the first drive.
The handoff. Salmons, 5-yard gain, second down, and here we are kind of starting to see a little bit of a consistency for Louisiana, and we said that's exactly what they needed. Second and 5. The pitch to the right side. Not much there. 3rd and 4.
So here's another third down. The last time they were here, it went for nowhere as Seattle able to force a punt. With Louisiana in the midfield, essentially. But they lined up with only 2 wideouts and 2 in the backfield.
And pressure coming, and Utah goes down completely unguarded. Was number 55, Sabo Kanan.
He goes down for the 5th time this season, and Kanan delivers the hurt with a timely sack to force the offense out of the field, force a punt, and give the ball back to the dynamic hands of Type Attack.
And Vita Lee, she is getting her work cut out for her tonight. Yet another punt. Louisiana quickly off the field. We'll see about this return.
Broken tackle.
Yep, broken tackle. And they'll start at the 28-yard line.
you mentioned earlier, Cameron, the defense is going to tire out quickly if they're out the field a lot, and they've been out on the field more than twice as much as Seattle's defense has been out on the field.
And that's a sure recipe to really start to wear down a defensive unit that, as we mentioned, a stout defensive unit, averaging just 17 points is all that they've really allowed per game up to this point. We mentioned that they're pretty good in that aspect, but it doesn't take long to wear a team out when you simply can't get any time to rest. And so on 1st and 10 for Seattle, they will start, as we said, just outside of the 30, and man in motion. Fullerton is back in this game. Nobody in the backfield. So they're going to the air, and look at that. What a reception and run that time by number 45, J.W. Dole.
The dual threat of being an incredible halfback in the ground game, but also getting involved in the pass game. What about the catch as well? Catch and the run after the catch as he skirts the line and doesn't step out of bounds.
Oh, a nice job of maneuvering through some traffic there to pick up some extra yardage. Seattle now really starting to find their footing. They had the early turnover, but since then they have been on a tear. Patak to throw. Again, complete. Fullerton, left side towards the sidelines, gain of 5.
That left side has been lightly defended, by Louisiana, as already a couple plays in a row. Type Attack has been seemingly able to find that side of the field with a wide open receiver.
Look at Patak's numbers so far on the day. Just past midfield. And again, sending a man in motion. That's Ben Harrison. They keep it on the ground with Dole bulldozing a defender close to the first down marker.
Yep, I use the same term, bulldoze the defender to the ground. But look at this. Type Attack's numbers, last 10 attempts, 7 for 10. Had the one int, sure, but since then, went for 6 for 8 completions.
And on 3rd and 1, Louisiana again trying to come up with the stop. The pitch, they're going to get the first down and more. Scott across the stripes down into, very close, I should say, to red zone territory. Close to the 35. My apologies. They got a little too far upfield. 1st and 10 now for Seattle.
Credit to Ben Harrison. One key tackle downfield that gave Scott more yards and one less tackler to be worried about.
To Dole. He's going to lower that shoulder. And again, just annihilating defenders. A good gain on 1st down.
I think whoever faces Seattle coming out of a game always go back to their, to their clinic and say, I think I have a chest injury. Something's wrong with my chest. It seems to have been caved in. The reason is Doyle, as he just shoulders your chest.
Collapsed lungs for sure when you're running up to defend Doyle, no doubt. 2nd and 2 here. We are approaching the 5-minute mark in this first half. The handoff to Scott. Oh, shimmies out of a tackle, and it looked like Baloo Scott was just about to break free. Nevertheless, she does get the first down, and now the rushing game really starting to get going.
Definitely getting going. Has been Rush City all day, at least in this drive. Several plays, so that's 4 rushing plays in a row from them. 4 yards, 8 yards, 8 yards, and 9 yards picked up in the last 4 rushing plays by Seattle.
You take a look, an incredible balance indeed. That's the perfect word for what we are seeing now. 1st and 10, they are in the red zone. Delayed handoff. That was an impressive little handoff. And again, that is J.W. Dole again. Gain of 9.
Yeah, and this defense seems content to be sitting back, trying to prevent any huge deep pass downfield. And in consequence, this running game is just taking advantage of the soft coverage down the middle.
That's the challenge when you face Seattle. You have to worry about the deep threat, the ground game, and then a quarterback who can run like few others can.
Like
And there we
here.
see it. Right, exactly, Mark. First down, Seattle.
2 number ones in his back as he is the number 1 in quarterback rushing this season. Incredible showing from him, the way he is utilized to get first downs. It's one thing to be able to run, but it's the usage of him in the run game that has been just incredible.
Back to the air they go. To the end zone, and the pass is complete. But I do believe they're going to say he was out of bounds. 2nd and goal.
Yeah, won't complain about that. Definitely out of bounds, but still, they're still within range for a sudden run by Patak, a short pass to Pauly Truth. Not many options to worry about here.
Plenty of options indeed, and you expect to see them take at least another shot. Looks like we're going to see it possibly on this play. To the end zone, and oh my goodness, and it is intercepted again. The 2nd time in red zone territory, and the 2nd time by number 28, Hood.
Roll him in the hood. Oh my goodness, he has been on display as if he has done his homework, and he sure did. I mean, he got burned earlier for a touchdown, but this time makes the pick and makes them pay.
My goodness, you talk about coming up clutch. Rollerman Hood, the 2nd time today with an interception in the red zone. Now, if that don't get you riled up and ready to go, I don't know what will if you're this Louisiana offense. 1st and 10. Now, Seattle does look to show pressure. We'll see if they back off. A man in motion now for Louisiana to the bottom of your screen. Play clock down to 5. Pressure coming. Stands and delivers a nice pass. 9-yard gain, 2nd and inches, twin screw with the reception.
And these little laser passes, bullet passes to twin screw in coverage, and twin screw, the great possession catcher that he is, just hangs on, picks up 9.5, pretty much a credit card's width left to get a first down.
Send the fullback in motion. And they give it. Dwayne Salmons picks up the first down. And boy, you got to give credit to this stingy Louisiana defense who continues to keep them, keep the revolution in the game until the offense can find their footing. They may be just about able to do that.
Yeah, I agree, 100% agree. By the way, the last game, what about the blocking? Seattle sent everyone, but Louisiana still got yardage in the first down.
Again, showing pressure, and there it is. Oh, yeah, I had a defender who completely overshot his man. That does go for no gain, but that could have been a lot worse.
Harper there to clean up the missed tackle as Dwayne Salmons, once again with another carry, has been the Dwayne Salmons show tonight. Unfortunately, the unproductive Dwayne Salmons show so far, at least.
Been the Dwayne Salmons show a lot of the year for Louisiana, hasn't it? And again, trying to hurdle over a defender who was on the ground and caught from behind. And that was just a really impressive tackle that time by Seattle.
Sean Parrott with incredible composure and awareness to make that tackle. Had to spin around to make the tackle out of formation, coming out of the tackle slot.
3rd and 11. You talk about defensive play. This Seattle defense going to make sure that. Oh, and yeah, there you go. What a sack.
Goodness me. The protection as well seemed just not on point, as whoever was picking up the block was facing the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And what a sack right here. How many sacks does Utah have? That would be number 2 against Utah.
Yeah, absolutely. And just TJ Harper with an annihilating sack. Stops another big drive, folks. The Seattle defense does their job. 2-minute warning, and they're going to get the ball back. You're watching the SFL on YouTube. With the exception of one drive, this has been a defensive slugfest. My name is Cameron Duty with Mark Lopez up here in the booth. And we thank you for staying with us on what's surely been an exciting game thus far. Lee with the punt. And Fullerton will field this one. Oh, makes a man miss. And Seattle's going to have prime real estate on the 46-yard line to start this drive.
And unfortunately for Louisiana's offense, the defense has forced 2 turnovers, but besides their first drive, they have not had more than 20 yards in a single drive. That first drive went for 21. So really struggling in producing yards, finding people downfield in the passing game, but as well the rushing game has been stifled.
Stagnant and stifled, you're exactly right. That is a good word to describe what has happened thus far in this game. Inside of 2 minutes now, they give to Doyle, 5-yard gain, second down.
And it's pretty much a clinic here for the rushing game of Seattle, complete opposite, where Seattle sends many defenders to the backfield to stop the run. Here we see Louisiana, whether they keep reading the shallow pass or just in the middle of the field.
They send Fullerton in motion. If you just tune in, he was out for a couple of series earlier in this game. Now back in. The throw over the middle of the field. That is Fullerton with the reception. A first down and into enemy territory.
Picking apart this defense as Louisiana sends 6 on the rush, meaning the middle of the field was open, and Fullerton on cue gets the catch and gets extra yardage after the catch.
Yeah, and Seattle burns their first timeout, 2 remaining in the half. You know that they're wanting to put, or at least come away with some sort of points. They've been in, as we said, the red zone already twice that they've come away with nothing. Now that right there, if that hadn't been tipped, that could have been gone to the house for 6. So a nice job, a really good defensive effort that time by Gary Clem.
Yeah, I mean, this defense really is hanging on. Not only are they hanging on, they've allowed only 1 score despite Seattle finding themselves in Louisiana's territory almost every single time.
At the moment, their best offense is their defense. The throw over the middle, a one-handed grab by Pauly Truth, and a timeout as he was tackled in the middle of the field.
They're looking to hopefully get in range for a field goal here. This is just outside the range, I believe, for a kick. They might want to run it here. We'll see. They're showing 0 backs here, Cameron, but they've run it already out of this formation.
Going for the home run, it seems. The throw, and it's intercepted. Unbelievable. Again, now that time it's not Hood, it's Dante Grimm. And folks, what we are seeing is very impressive out of Louisiana, thwarting type attack 3 times so far in this game.
I mean, that's just, keeping your cool as a cucumber. Our offense is struggling, but we will hold the fort, hold the front lines. Well, they held the back lines with now the 3rd interception inside the red zone.
This game could easily be a 3-score game in favor of Seattle had it not been for incredible defensive play by the Revolution. Now with a minute to go, can they put points on the board? They got to get something going. Sam is stopped for no gain. Let's go back to the SFL studios with Cameron Irvine for a game break.
Thank you, Cameron. What you are seeing in Seattle is the opposite of what we are seeing in Mexico City. First play of the drive, Jack Wigmore goes down the field for 80 yards. Mexico City has a 73-yard passing touchdown. Baltimore went for 2 at the end of the first quarter and tied the game 14-14. Back to you.
Exciting action all the way around in the SFL at this 9 o'clock block. Now, they stay on the ground, Louisiana that is. 3rd and 4 coming up, and it's really interesting. You're not seeing much aggression, are you, Mark, to try to get the ball down the field at the end of this half?
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like they're content going to the half, down only a touchdown.
Pump fake and sack.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, man. And they will... I believe that's Seattle that called that timeout, if I'm not mistaken. And it is wanting to try to preserve some time. Wow. Again, we talk about how good a job that Louisiana has did. It can't be lost on us what Seattle is able to do and completely making Louisiana one-dimensional. Now to punt, and that's going to end the half. Will we get a run back here by Fullerton? Turns ahead, and he will get tackled at the 45. And with that, we'll head into halftime, Mark. What a first half.
What a defensive slugfest. The one scoring play, a one scoring drive came off a wide open, broken coverage type of play.
Folks, we hope you're having just as much fun as we are here in the Nemasphere. Seattle leads 7-0 as we welcome you into the SFL halftime report. Mark, take us through some of the highlights of the first half that really stood out to you. Obviously, we got to talk about that Louisiana defense. 3 interceptions so far.
And despite that, Seattle's offense is in top gear with Patak running the ball and passing the ball. 53% completion rate, so a little not ideal, but that's 10 completions for 125 yards. That's a 12.5 yard per completion rate. His receivers are feasting, thrown to 4 different receivers. It's just unfortunate that of the 9 incompletions, 3 are interceptions.
Yeah, and brilliant as Top Attack has been on the ground picking up first downs for this team. It's going to have to definitely hold on to that football and play a little bit more safe, if you will, as we begin this second half. We welcome you back into the Nemasphere in beautiful Seattle on this February Saturday night. Cameron Duty with Mark Lopez, and I want to thank, as always, the good folks in the stats truck helping us out tonight, and that is Joshua Durr and Dakota Butts. Cameron Irvine back at SFL headquarters. Start of the second half, and it's going to be interesting to see what teams make the best adjustments. Bring this one out to the 20. All right, let's just pretend for a minute, Mark, that you are the head coach of Louisiana. What adjustments do you have to make for your offense here?
They've got to find the answer, at least for their ground game, to handle Seattle sending the whole house and the kitchen sink to the backfield. Meanwhile, Seattle here, I think there isn't much to adjust despite making better throws.
Yeah, definitely a little bit cleaner in the passing game is really all that you can ask for them, as Doyle once again gets 4. So we mentioned talking about Louisiana and what they need to clean up this half. Let's talk about Seattle. As you said, protect that football. One name that we haven't really mentioned yet, which I'm kind of surprised about, is Gus Scott. We haven't said much about Gus or Justice Blackwell.
Yes, Gus Scott targeted one completion. As Seattle in attack makes a completion here. That's a short completion. But back to Gus Scott, you're right. We haven't called their name much. We've only seen them in one target. That was a 20-yard play, a huge play. That was the touchdown that scored the 7 for Seattle.
And a big 3rd down and 7 already coming up. Louisiana again trying to get the nemesis off the field. They do send Scott in motion up to the top of your screen. Roll out to Patak, and he looks that way. There we go. We mentioned it. Where's Gus Scott? There he is, right when you need a big play.
So, in as much as Louisiana is able to turn the ball over, one thing that really is the struggle point for them is they keep leaking yards, 3rd down situations. They've allowed a very high 3rd down completion rate to Seattle, and that's why they're just on the field so much, and they're almost gambling and hoping that a turnover falls into their laps.
1st and 10, and if you're Seattle, you know that a good lengthy drive right here could be huge for your chances of winning. Over the middle, and Truth just about had that one reeled in, but no, that is number 47, Grimm, making that tackle.
Grimm had that one earlier interception, the 3rd against Type Attack, and right there once again 1-on-1 against Polly Truth, and this time forcing the incompletion. So Grimm so far has been one of the highlights of this Louisiana passing defense.
And as you just seen the stats, would you believe that it's just a one-score game? Well, it's the 3 turnovers that certainly keeps this in competition at the moment. Now, 2nd and 10. Patak to throw. Pressure coming for the first time today. They get to him and wrap him up. Big man right there, Chance Wall.
And that is only the second time that they have lost any yardage in a play. The first one was the TFL against Baloo Scott all the way in the first quarter. And this time, it's a huge sack against Type Attack. And that's what the defense needed. Force a 3rd and forever.
Yeah, Chance was definitely the great wall that time. There was no getting away from him. 3rd and 19. Pressure coming again, and it's batted right at the line. Could have been intercepted. That hung up there for just a little while. Brian Craven coming in with the deflection.
Yeah, nobody was looking up. Nobody saw the ball bounce up, it seems, but still an impressive defensive display. This time, Louisiana not having to, have Seattle at their side of the field for the first time.
What more is there that you can really say about this Louisiana defense? They have played their heart out, keeping their team in it. Now, on the return, looking for something positive here. And they're going to get a nice little return anyway to about the 41-yard line. So best field position they've had. Great return by Twin Screw.
Yep, Twin Screw. One of the few earlier had a nice return as well in the second quarter. So their special teams has been good. Their defense has been good. We're waiting for the offense to start clicking. We're going to get the first taste of their second half offense right here.
And what adjustments will we see here by Louisiana? They start with 2 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen and 2 men in the backfield. It's a quick throw, a quick reception, and a quick first down. Adam Banks with the reception.
I want to say this was an adjustment. We saw this exact play, same exact play, quick pass, a quick step back, and then a short 10-yard pass to Adam Banks, who makes the same result with a nice little handy catch right there, picks up a first down. Maybe the adjustment will be who they target more of, and maybe that'll be Adam Banks providing the X factor.
Right, important to note that Daniel Valentine was on his way backing up down the field. He thought that route was going to be a complete streak down the field. Instead, it was a cut in. Made all the difference. 2nd and 8 now, and we have a gain of 2. If you are Louisiana, you mentioned maybe going to the middle of the field, looking a little bit more, maybe 8 to 10 yards instead of going, for 15, 18-yard throws, right, Mark?
Yeah, something like that. Something quick where you can shut down the blitzing defense.
and there is another example of that. That one just off the mark. So a 3rd and 8 coming up, but it certainly looks like that's what they're wanting to attempt here with Tommy Utah.
Another 3rd down for them. The sore spot so far on their offense has been converting on 3rd downs, 3rd and long especially. Fortunately, no turnovers have been thrown by Tommy Utah. We'll see if he can convert this 3rd down.
Yeah, we mentioned that was a big problem early in the season. And a one-handed catch by Twin Screw, and he is almost to the end zone. He will come down just a few yards short, but come on, we got to call that a nominee for the nice hands catch brought to you by Retroid. Once again, put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only game with your player in it, SFL 4K23. Mark, tell us what you've seen there.
I mean, that was just Twin Screw running his route to perfection, and the defense almost looked like they were asleep in that. Just a little bit of a split-second coverage breakdown, and that was enough for Twin Screw to find the opening, make the catch, pick up 44 yards.
What a difference a play makes. To the end zone, touchdown. What a nice little play. The little screen out there to the halfback. That was Salmons, if I'm not mistaken. Or was that Cameron Collier? That was Collier, the fullback. Impressive. And Louisiana on the board.
And this is only the second time they called this play, the fullback swing. The first time it happened all the way back in their side of the field, but this time they caught Seattle lacking, and their defense didn't expect that, and that's an easy 6.
Fooled everybody, including the play-by-play guy. So now Louisiana on to attempt the extra point by Otis Boudreau. And wouldn't you know it, we've got a tie ball game.
Ooh-wee, and the domination by Seattle, yielding them only 7 total points, is going to start biting at the back of their necks if they don't, score back, because now Louisiana might feel the momentum on their side.
And a great stat to pass along. That was more yards in the last drive for Louisiana than all of the first half. And again, what a difference some adjustments make. Fullerton gets this one out to the 30. And as we said, tie ball game, this one is completely different than what we saw just a few plays ago. Folks, stay tuned for SFL announcements on enhancements and new features coming to the progression system, plus the location and details of the 2024 convention. The SFL is committed to improving the league and its convention each season, and the next level of play off the field, in the pool, and on the portal is coming soon, and we cannot wait for that. So 1st and 10 for Seattle. Now having to play in a tie ball game situation instead of being out ahead. How will they attack? A nice little drop off there. And that is Arlovsky for 6.
Yeah, Arlovsky, the constant, so to speak, in this offense. Although he has been thrown to 7 times, only picking up 3 of those targets. A few of those targets were leading to the interception. So Ryan Arlovsky has been who this Louisiana defense has been dialing up on.
Seattle with a man in motion. Patak keeps it on the ground. This was a secret to their early success, Mark, and they kind of went away from it a little bit. And now it looks like they're trying to go back to relying on top attack.
Yeah, it's and you saw it, they're averaging 6 yards, or at least 6 yards per carry in total. By this running offense has been dynamic. And you're right. I'm surprised they haven't run it much since their first scoring drive, but they run it there.
1st and 10, the handoff to Doyle. And forms a man. Got some room. Staying on the sideline. It took 3 men to bring him down, but Doyle with the first down.
I mean, you were saying you were giving the nickname of Wall to someone. How about Doyle, who himself is the moving wall? How do you bring down a wall that is moving towards you? Look at this. Brings one man down to the ground and then almost steps out of bounds too. So just agile enough to stay in bounds.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of interested to see if we will see a challenge flag. We will not. A good job of agility there indeed, as you said, by the moving wall, J.W. Doyle. 1st and 10. From the 35-yard line, so Seattle coming right back and showing a really impressive aggression, if you will, to start this series. Patak to throw. Nothing there, really. Kind of just off the mark, looking for Fullerton.
Yeah, Fullerton covered there in 1-on-1 coverage. Perhaps at least probably slow down a bit in his route, as he was not able to be in the right location for that catch. Thankfully for Patak, no defender was there to make a turnover.
2nd and 10, 2 receivers on either side. Patak to roll out. The pass off the hands of his intended target, Ryan Arlovsky.
Another 3rd and long, and now Patak's last 10 attempts here, 4 of 10, after starting at one point had 7 completions in his last 10. So this Louisiana defense, now with 5 wideouts, they're going to look at making another play against this passing game.
Yeah, can they get off the field? 3 men up at the top of your screen, folks, and 2 at the bottom. They are sending everyone downfield. Oh, and a nice little nifty shovel. It goes nowhere. A nice job of Louisiana by adapting and swarming. And again, that's Rolliman Hood on the tackle.
Yeah, I don't know if they adapted or they just knew something was up, because they rushed 5 in the middle, meaning that shovel had nowhere to go even before the play was run.
And now this is going to bring on David Roosh, who we haven't heard very much of in this game at all, to punt. and going to try to get a coffin kick here if possible.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, bounces into the end zone, and Louisiana will set up shop at the 20-yard line. And now, Mark, what a difference, honestly, this half has made. We're a little over a half of a way through this third quarter, and you see how things have changed for Louisiana.
Yeah, things definitely have changed, at least momentum-wise. They're starting out in their favorite base set of twins formation here, and the second half has been working way better than the first half.
Salmon just kind of plowing behind the lineman there, trying to pick up as much as he possibly can. Gain of 2.
Look at that stat right there. Total yards, 63 to 47 in the second half. That is already more yards than the total of the first half, as you mentioned, for Louisiana in the first half.
Utah to throw, and there's the turnover we were worried about, folks. Intercepted, and it's going the other way. A spin move down to the 19-yard line, and boy, that was what we've been concerned about most of the day. Amar Bryant Jr. with the INT.
An incredible interception, perhaps, but also a poorly thrown pass, poorly made decision to throw in double coverage right here. The defender was pretty much sitting in that zone the entire time, and Utah, probably that was the last of his read options, because keep throwing there to double coverage is questionable.
Yeah, very questionable. And we had mentioned that was a big talking point heading into the game, the struggles that Utah has had protecting the football, and chalk another one up on the season total. Seattle now in prime position to pounce. Patak to throw to the end zone, and oh my goodness!
Oh my.
Everybody's heart rate is up just a little bit after that one. Tank Bennett had his fingers all over that one, just couldn't bring it in for the interception.
No lie, I am at the edge of my seat. These defensive plays, they're just like inches away from being backbreakers against the team. Almost an interception after an interception.
2nd and 10 as we try to regain our breath here. What a game, folks, that you're watching at the moment. Patak. Oh, and he had the receiver wide open. That was Fullerton in the flat, and they just weren't on the same page.
A little mistimed there. Probably Dak probably could have waited just half a second for Fullerton to run the route. Unfortunately, it ends up as an incompletion. Not even a drop. It never hit Fullerton.
3rd down, and Louisiana's defense again trying to do the cleanup work here. Patak to throw to the end zone, and that time it is caught. There is the threat. There is Gus Scott. When you need the big play, go to Gus.
And he almost got the second touchdown for himself for the evening. That rollout right there, and then Gus Scott breaking inside and then outside, fools the defender, makes a huge catch, and it's 1st and goal. And suddenly, Patak running for a touchdown is back on the menu.
This is the thing. You can't leave Seattle out there too long. They may have their struggles, but they will find a way. On 1st and goal from the 1, threatening to take the lead. High formation. And they leave it with Patak, and he walks in unscathed. Touchdown, Nemesis.
High Patak, just cool as a cucumber, finds the one opening, has run this play already quite a bit number of times. Carry number 9 for his first touchdown of the evening.
And again, just the importance of how they got set up on that drive, the interception by, the Seattle defense taking advantage of Tommy Utah there, and just able to really capitalize on fantastic field position. And now it is the extra point by Iron Leg that puts them up by 7 with 2:52 remaining in this third quarter. So, Mark, if you're quarterback Tommy Utah and you've just thrown a critical interception, how do you shake it off?
I mean, as cliche as it sounds, right? You gotta have the memory of a goldfish. Forget about it. Don't lose, the composure, and don't think that you can no longer run the play. There's something there. You just probably made the wrong call. There's probably a better time to call the play, but just shrug it off. It's cliche. It's easier said than done, but we'll see if Tommy Utah here can pull off the hard thing.
They bring pressure, and that's always tough on a quarterback to throw, and you could tell that the pressure got to him, just kind of off his target a little bit with that throw, and second down coming up.
Yeah, missed opportunity too, as Seattle was actually sitting in cover 1. Unfortunately for Tommy Utah, none of his receivers ran a route that could have exploited the single coverage, and that's why he had to take all the time to make a pass.
Yeah, let's give credit also to Dwayne Salmons, who picked up that last blitz. Utah to the air and in and out of Twin Screw's hands. Also had that Nemesis defense breathing down on him.
Yeah, there was one defender on his back, and I think the extra hit jarred it loose. So defense this time clamping up against Louisiana. Seattle forcing another 3rd and long against Tommy Utah.
They've been in this situation far too many times in this game. 3rd and 10. They send the wide receiver Banks in motion. Pressure coming again.
Oh, nice block.
Nice block. And there's his man. There's his man. That's the one we were just referring to. Adam Banks. They needed that play. And Adam Banks banks that one in for a big reception into enemy territory and then some.
Huge play by Adam Banks as he cashes in a huge one. 62 yards in this play. First of all, he finds a wide open route, makes the catch, and then runs downfield and pretty much flips the field in a single play. 3rd and down. They were 1 for 6 in the first half, and now they've made 2 for 2 in 3rd downs.
What a difference a half makes. Utah to throw again. That time it's Twin Screw with a beautiful route run across the middle of the field, and 1st down coming up here for your Revolution.
Utah's finally finding the groove. If you were wondering if he was able to shrug off the interception, I think, Cameron, the answer is yes.
Yeah, a resounding yes. A great job. And you got to give credit, because the way that those turnovers, they can play on a quarterback's psyche, especially when they're constantly pressured. But great resiliency by Louisiana, just as you mentioned. Now looking to go out of an I formation set. They throw it. Oh, goodness. Yeah, quarterback and receiver not on the same page, and that could have easily been intercepted. It does fall to the ground, so 2nd down, back to the drawing board.
I think Tommy Utah was pressured to make that play as he saw 3 extra blitzers coming to him. Everyone was picked up eventually, but made the pass nonetheless. Yeah, you're right. Thankfully, it was not an interception.
They keep it on the ground this time to Salmons, and it looked like he had a little bit of daylight opening up, but it was Day, ironically, who shut that down.
Yep. No more daylight, says Doug Day. Timely tackle. What could have been 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line or even a touchdown? It's 3rd and goal at the 3.
Most important 3rd down of the game for Louisiana. They want that touchdown to draw even with Seattle. Utah to throw, and there it is. He just couldn't reel it in. Twin Screw. Oh, that pass was right there, and I guess what you would say in the breadbasket, but no. Nevertheless, take a look at Bryant Jr., who really interfered with that. Wow.
And yeah, I mean, you saw Twin Screw laying out, trying to make the catch with his entire soul and heart. It just fell and got hit out of his hands. It's still 3 points. It's still a score, but it's probably less than ideal than what they would have wanted out of this drive.
Yeah, you're still playing from behind. But 3 points are on the board by Vita Lee, and they do draw within 4 after an 8-play drive. And again, good to get on the board. You're going to have to call once again on your defense to help you out on this next series. So, to set the stage, if you're just tuning in, of course, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Seattle leading an exciting game thus far, 14-10. We've seen moments of defensive, defensive plays that you just wouldn't believe. You've also seen some offensive productivity. This game has had it all, and shaping up to be an exciting finish. But before we get to that, let's go to Cameron Irvine and the SFL headquarters. Take it away, Cam.
Thank you, Cameron. Over 450 passing yards in this game so far, but this highlight all about the run game as the Hall of Famer Ray Bentley finds some open space to the outside. Mexico City leads 21-17 early in the third quarter. Baltimore is on the move. Back to you in Seattle.
Here in Seattle, Cameron Duty with Mark Lopez, Joshua Durr, and Dakota Butts on stats. Cameron Irvine on production. Attack will go to the air, and you'll get a couple. 2nd and 3 here.
It says it's a 3-yard pickup. I thought it was about a 5-yard, but we go back to a tale of two halves. In the first half, Seattle out-yarded Louisiana 222-45. In this quarter alone, Louisiana has 142 to the 69 of Seattle. Now 79.
Yeah, nice job by Pauly Truth right there. Been a little bit more quiet in this second half, but there he had his number called and a good reception.
Yeah, Pauly Truth, as the name suggests, if you're wondering, is he the right person to throw to in third down? Well, that's the truth.
Plenty of good player names to make some great puns with tonight. I've loved it. And Batak now
wide open.
The attack and runs it upfield, close to midfield. He's going to be a yard short, but really a nice game to end this third quarter.
Yes, sir.
1 quarter to play, folks. You know what time it is. Get your fours ready, and let's get ready and hear our league rights, and we'll be back for a thrilling finish on YouTube.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League, so to explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. And meanwhile, Ty Patak creating a soundtrack of his own tonight. Another first down, continuing to eat up yardage on the ground.
Yeah, he now has the most attempts, or at least tied for the most carries in this game with Dwayne Sammons, who has 11. Except Patak has 46 yards, Sammons has 24. So really, Patak on the run game has been dominant.
This Seattle nemesis knows just how important it would be to get a touchdown. Oh, my goodness. He didn't get a lot of yards on that run, but again, J.W. Dole sending people to the shadow realm.
Yep, that was Lynn Shady. Got a brief momentary view of purgatory before coming back to life.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Mark. 2nd and 7 here after that 3-yard massacre. Patak rolling out and looking. Pauly Truth, first down across the 30.
Now, Pauly Truth has been thrown to 7 times. That's his 5th reception. Has been a very good target for Patak here. And look at that. And just a nice route, just a single-man coverage, and that's a tough matchup to beat one-on-one because of how huge a target Pauly Truth is, how quick he is, and how good he is with his hands.
Yeah, he had the height and, dare I say, the weight advantage as well over the defender. Truth again, putting him to work here. They know, put it in his hands, he's going to get the job done. Pauly Truth now in his 4th season with Seattle. And again, we mentioned 6'6", 250 pounds, hard to block, hard to defend, hard to tackle. And they are sending the house downfield, looks like. Patak steps in there and throws, and a nice job of the Louisiana defense by Nathan Blake to jar that one loose.
Yeah, good job by Blake to, prevent a completion, because Fullerton, or was it Scott, who could have made a catch and then spun upfield for about a 6-yard gain. Instead, it's 2nd and 10.
And this is critical right here if Louisiana can hold them to a field goal attempt on the next couple of plays, if they can get a stop. But that's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. To the back of the end zone is Arlovsky, the nemesis. Strike and pull away late in this game.
With his 5th catch in the evening, gets a touchdown. That is only the 2nd touchdown on the air, 2nd by Type Attack total. And the replay there, a little bit suspicious. I wonder if Louisiana will throw the flag. It doesn't seem like it yet.
It doesn't. Oh, my goodness. I feel like that was certainly worth challenging. Nevertheless, they keep the red hanky on the sidelines, and Seattle goes up now by 11 with just 8:15 left in the game.
That was a very quick scoring drive, under 3 minutes. Starring number 85, Pauly Truth, 3 catches in that drive, and then topped it off with a nice catch by Arlovsky, and suddenly Seattle is on the driver's seat.
A sudden turn of event, and this Nemesis offense wakes up. Louisiana will get the ball back at the 29, down by 11. Plenty of time to work with, though, but I think here's the thing about it, Mark, is they're going to have to take a couple more chances and pick up tempo a little. So 1st and 10, we'll see what Louisiana can do here. The throw to Salmons out of the backfield. He gets about 4, and we actually are just receiving word that after that replay, it was indeed that Arlovsky was able to drag the 2nd foot to just stay in bounds. It has been confirmed for anyone wondering about maybe a potential challenge there. 2nd and 6 now for Louisiana as they go back to work. They keep it on the ground. Mark, are you surprised with it?
I am very surprised. I'm surprised because of the fact that in their previous drive, their passing game, they're finding plenty of success in their passing game. And to go on the ground, it doesn't feel like they have the sense of urgency.
And on 3rd down now, already an important 3rd down. They got to make this happen if they want a chance. Utah to throw way over the head of the intended target. I believe that was Salvatore Napoli that they were looking for.
And the first target to Napoli, unfortunately, over the hands of the receiver. And the first punt in a while for Louisiana comes at one of the worst times possible for them.
And with the punt again is Vita Lee. Fullerton, who has been busy back there today, gets it out to the 32-yard line. So really, if you're this Louisiana defense, you fought hard to keep your offense in the game, the entire portion of this game, if you will, and you're really needing one last stand here.
Yep, absolutely. A punt here, force a 3-and-out would be ideal because of how much time Seattle can potentially burn out of the clock.
1st and 10. Good job by the offensive line to give Patak all kinds of time. And that one just off the shoulder, it looked like, of Arlovsky.
Yeah, I wonder if Arlovsky wasn't expecting to be thrown to as Patak actually hit his receiver. Not in the hands, though.
It really looked as if he was standing there as the pocket was beginning to collapse all around him. Maybe even kind of got rid of that one a little earlier than what he wanted to. 2nd and 10 now coming up for Seattle. Again, if you're Louisiana, you want to be able to get off the field, give your offense a chance to put some points on the board. But again, that does come back down to this defense who's played lights out for most of the game. Pressure coming. Patak throws almost intercepted. Instead, it's incomplete, and that was intended for John Fullerton.
Key third down here, Cameron. 3rd and 10, 3rd and long. They're going to expect a pass here, and forcing a punt here will be pivotal for keeping as much clock left for their offense.
3rd and 10, you mentioned the clock. It has stopped at 7 minutes and 1 second here in this game. If you are a Louisiana fan, that's of importance for sure. Now, Patak to throw again, and that right there, they went back to Fullerton. They missed him the first time, but not the second. This drive will continue.
Yeah, and the one thing they didn't want to do, or you don't want to do as a Louisiana defense, was allow that kind of deep pass. They rushed for, despite showing a 3-man front, and that essentially meant that that's one extra defender not in the backfield. That's one extra potential defensive back in. Seattle takes advantage, and they're just ready to start shutting the door on Louisiana.
Yeah, and an important stat to once again bring up. At the top of the league, Seattle, with time of possession, they could take this clock and really work with it. That was a little bit scary, of course. So that one falls to the ground. The clock will stop. But that is an important point, I think, to make, Mark, is that, you know, what they can do with the time of possession left in this game if they can keep the drive going.
They're also probably in the top of the league in near misses and interceptions. I've seen so many near interceptions thrown by Patak. That last one, too, just fell to the ground, but almost an INT as well.
Yeah, no kidding, indeed. While Patak has been good in a lot of areas, there has been a lot of throws that has gotten away from him, to say the least. Now, J.W. Doyle stopped at the line of scrimmage, and again, we talk about the big plays coming up again. 3rd and 9 now for this Louisiana defense. If they can get off the field, but first it has to be done.
Yep, I agree. Another key one for them. It's been a minute since the last 3rd and long that they've forced against Seattle.
You know they're going pass to the air, and a one-handed reception. Oh, my goodness. Who else? Gus Scott. And again, when you need the big play, when you need the drive to continue, give it to Gus. First down.
I mean, they're back on one-on-one coverage here, man-to-man defense. Gus Scott just puts his office there, wins the one-on-one. And as you mentioned, that's the big ticket play to the big ticket game ending, potentially a dub out of that, a potentially game-winning completion.
Yeah, Seattle wanting to put a nightcap on this game. That pass incomplete, looking for Pauly Truth, but you can tell in their attitude, you can tell in the tempo that they're playing. They want to shut the door on Louisiana with this drive, and they are very close.
3 of 10 on third downs by Louisiana, 8 for 12. That's 75%. 66% by Seattle. Incredible third down completion efficiency.
They send Fullerton in motion down to the bottom of your screen. Keep an eye on that. When they send him in motion, they like to look his way. Truth to the end zone. Overthrows Truth. 3rd and 10. That's Patak. Patak overthrowing Truth. So 3rd and 10 coming up here. It seems like a minute is kind of burning off the clock each time that Louisiana is faced with another one of these third downs. So Louisiana, again, wanting to try to get off the field. Can Seattle keep it going? They go for it all, and there is a flag, and you got to believe this is going to be some interference of sorts.
It sure is against Louisiana. Frustrations arise as the last-minute defensive play turns into the... What do you think about that?
Kind of a questionable call there, no doubt. Looked like it could have really went either way. And nevertheless, they get him for, I guess, just a little bit of light contact. I think they're going to say that the receiver's route was impeded just enough to throw the flag, Mark. And again, as you said, frustration's running a little bit high now with Louisiana. They're wore out. They played a heck of a game on defense. Seattle now, Doyle to the end zone, and that should just about do it. Touchdown, Nemesis.
Doyle continuing his reign of dominance in this game as he puts one of the many nails to go in this coffin. Doyle, his first touchdown of the evening. He's now above 70 total rushing yards in 12 attempts. Has been lights out, incredible, 6.1 yards per carry. And a little icing on the cake with 6 points for his team.
You know what was fun about that was we saw him bulldoze and just harass defenders all night long. He actually got to drag one into the end zone. So signature J.W. Doyle there. The extra point by Victor Ironleg, and it is good. 18 points now, the deficit for Louisiana, as they will get the ball back. Not a lot of time really to work with at that deficit, but still anything can happen here.
Anything can happen for sure. Let's see if special teams has a little bit of magic to turn things around for the offense.
This one will be returned to the 27-yard line, which is where Louisiana will set up shop. Tomorrow night, SFL action on YouTube begins with a rematch of the Season 21 semifinal between Florida and Alamo City at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Other games include Queen City and Motor City, Denver and Vancouver, and Houston and Portland. For the full schedule of kickoff dates and times, be sure to visit Simulationfl.net. Louisiana here, you have to believe that the only way for them to go is through the air. Utah to throw if he could stand up. Absolutely walloped by the Nemesis.
I mean, they line up in their one tight end set for hope. I was hoping that they used the extra tight end for protection, but no, they sent everyone running routes downfield, and that's one less protection for the sack. Now Seattle can play aggressive on defense, rushing 4, 5, 6, because they know Louisiana is just going to keep looking downfield.
That was a big man, Aaron Stein, on that sack. 6'6", 295 pounds. That had to feel terrible if you're Tommy Utah. Pressure coming again, and he's going to get it again. Completely walloped by Doug Day.
Pretty much all the way back in Louisiana as he starts this play.
They just put it on the ground. They just keep it on the ground. Obviously, you're starting to see just what the Nemesis have been able to do and honestly get in the head of this Louisiana offense late in this game. They know it's a 4-down territory. Probably they just done that in the try to get something lined up quick, and they stay on the ground again. Oh, that's surprising. But nevertheless, a big-time stop by the Nemesis, and Seattle will take over.
Yep, that's unfortunately for them, that's a lot of frustrations compounding. You know, the offense struggling in the first half, got so close to tying the game up 14-14, but it's just unfortunate for them. The couple sacks too didn't help.
So Seattle will take over in really good territory here on the 14-yard line of the Revolution. They go to the end zone. I believe that was intended for Ben Harrison, the tight end. And that is his first season, actually, with Seattle, as we mentioned, coming over from Sioux Falls. So part of that 2 tight end set with Pauly Trout. 2nd and 10 on the way. Two men in the backfield. They will continue to be aggressive here. They go to the end zone, and there he is again. They went to him earlier. They go back to Ben Harrison, and the Nemesis adding some more points to the board late in this game.
Yep, now they're starting to pad the stat sheet. You know, there's all throughout the season, at least early on this game, it didn't look like what they were built out to be as the number 6 scoring offense. But now they're pouring on the points, 34 to 10. Pending an extra point to be 35, and that's the offense. That's the scoring offense that they've been built out to be, and we've seen it here at the end of the game.
It's an interesting point to mention that the score really isn't going to be reflective of the tight game that we had, with the exception of the last 2 minutes or so in this game when it really kind of did go south for the Revolution. A lot of this game was very defensive based, and at the end of it, Seattle able to just pull away, right, Mark?
Absolutely. One turning point too was the first and the only interception that Tommy Utah threw sometime in the third quarter. They had the ball. They were primed to get the lead, to get the lead after the game was tied 7-7. Instead, turns the ball over, and instead Seattle takes the lead 14-7, and that was the turning point in my opinion.
And as you've seen the stat, Seattle has scored a touchdown on 4 consecutive drives, and hard to go toe-to-toe with a team just as hot as that. One of the reasons being the way this defense has stepped up in the last half of this fourth quarter here. So much pressure on Utah and Salmons, as you can see, just really relegating them to short yardage situations.
The cornerbacks reading those flats and swings and reacting quickly too.
That one off the hands of a couple of people in the area. A quick third down, and again, the clock will stop. So we got 3rd and 7 here for Louisiana, wanting to try to put some points on the board late in this game, trailing by 25. And really, if you are the offense, you want to be able to come out of here with a little bit of momentum, some sort of progression that you've been able to make, at least on a series or two. They're going to say that was, they're going to call it a fumble picked up by Grant Jr. there and run out of bounds on 4th down.
Yeah, it's many things now. The result of several quarters in a row of the offense not clicking. So things are just now, I mean, I wouldn't say things are starting to crumble. It's hard to see. I think they're trying to pull out all the stops, and now everything, the playbook's wide open. They go back to this squad formation where they earlier rushed out of this.
Keep it on the air, and it is deflected, and Seattle will take over. And, you do hate it for this Louisiana offense. They have had their moments of success, but also moments of struggling. You want to be able to see them at least be able to get some productivity, something, a bit of a high note, or maybe a silver lining, if you will, to take into the next game. But this Nemesis defense just too strong in the end.
One thing they'll have to try to solve and go back to the drawing board will be how are they going to solve 3rd and long situations, and how can they shape their playbook to give them more options, because they have been horrendous in 3rd down situations this game.
They got pressure on Pataka. Meanwhile, and had it not been for Harper there, oh my goodness. Harper makes the fumble recovery, but you certainly don't want to see anybody go down, especially type attack with the type of game that's been played today. And maybe an early exit for him. Obviously, he should be back and good to go next week. That's going to bring in the backup now to maybe close out this game if it's too serious.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to see that. Their type attack, I mean, he has been balling out here, Cameron, doing everything. The runs, the rollouts, the nice passes. And perhaps this is just his little way of getting a little bit of rest for himself.
Anthony Wright will come in under center. And interference again, it looks like. So we had a pretty clean game up to this point, and now the last 2 series, Louisiana has been bit on defensive pass interference calls.
Yep. twice already, and both times setting Seattle up inside, the goal scoring position right there. Definitely impeded that route, no question. That's the discipline going out the window.
Evan Arthur, I think, felt sheer desperation to keep that one from finding the hands of the wide receiver. So first and goal now. Again, Anthony Wright in for Type Attack, who got a little dinged up a couple of plays ago. They just handed off to Scott left side, and a touchdown for the Nemesis to further pad the lead.
Lou Scott picks up her second touchdown of the evening. Her first. Now, all three rushers, Patak, Scott, and Doyle, having a rushing touchdown for Seattle. And that just tells you the story of this game, right? Has been the ground game fueled their passing game, but also vice versa. Their passing game opened up their ground game. That's such a monster to try to defend.
Iron Leg again on to attempt the extra point, and it is good. And what you, I believe, are looking at now, Mark, as we'll continue to just talk about what we've seen the last couple of moments, is honestly a Louisiana defense that is completely decimated, considering how much they really had to kind of bail out the offense, and now they're just out of gas.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see. Time of possession, you're looking at 21 minutes for Seattle to Louisiana's 13 minutes up to this point. So that's 21 minutes of that the defense has been out there. Kudos to Louisiana, though. Like, they've maintained Seattle to 7 points for most of the first 3 quarters. Yeah. It's just that things blew over after that turning point with the first turnover, and they were unable to answer anytime soon.
Honestly, the box score will be the tale of the tape, especially when you can see just how many points Seattle has been able to put up here in this fourth quarter. And right then, you just seen the stat there that showed -3 yards for Louisiana now in the fourth quarter. It looked like it was kind of swinging in their direction in the third, but Nemesis once again took control.
Yeah, that's all a result of when you find yourself in the hole, you start to risk it more, and you become more predictable in the offense, and that's kind of what happened here.
And right now, Louisiana just not able to really even get together a completion to keep a drive extended. Here we go. The clock is still stopped at 3:33 and 3rd and 10, excuse me, to go here for them. Three receivers up to the top of the screen, as you can see, and then one down at the bottom. And they will send a man in motion. That's Adam Banks. He had a big reception in the third quarter of this game. Utah to throw. It's batted away. A fantastic job of defense by Doug Day.
Yep. This is discipline this time. And look at this, defending Tommy Utah's last 10 attempts. That is 6, or is that 6? That's 5 incompletions in a row. Mm-hmm. 2 of the last 10, really, for 7 yards too. So it looks like they're going to pass out of this formation again.
Fourth down, that pass in and out of the hands of their intended target. So Seattle will once again get a chance to run the clock down here, and just nice defensive coverage once more by Doug Day.
Yeah, and too often he finds his receiver, at least a target he wants to throw to, in double coverage, such as the case right there, Cameron. And it's tough trying to force your throws to your favorite receiver only to find him well covered by the defense because they knew you were going to throw it to him.
Yeah, look who's back in the game. Type Attack. Gives it to Blue Scott. He runs left side, gets 6, and they will start to run the clock out.
Maybe the Tack twisted a pinky toe or something. Or whatever. What happened there? He's back. Good to see him back, though.
It is good to see him back. That is for sure. So we will continue to watch the clock run down here. Let's take a look at the opponents that are coming up for this Seattle Nemesis. We'll start with them, Mark. They've got the Charleston Predators. They'll have to travel for the next 2 weeks to Charleston and then Minnesota. So those are two tough games coming up for the Nemesis for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But, they at least keep a hold of the top of their division in this win. And it's looking very much so a win here is going to help in them keeping that top spot for them. We mentioned about Vancouver, who's going to be matching up tomorrow against Denver. Just at the heels of them, they are 2-2. And with Seattle's win here, they're going to go up 4-1 and going to get an extra inch of headway against everyone else in the division.
Take a look at the stats of J.W. Doyle, who has really been a workhorse tonight for Seattle. We'll take a look at Louisiana's upcoming opponents in just a moment after this play, as we want to try to get you set up. That is, if we have this play. I think they're just going to. No, they snap it. They snap it to Scott. Okay, first down and inside the 10-yard line down to the 5. And that will bring us to this 2-minute warning on a fourth quarter that has completely went the Nemesis way. 2 minutes left in this game. You're watching the Simulation Football League on YouTube. Again, I'd like to give thanks to my partner, Mark Lopez, and then in the stats truck, the great Joshua Durr and Dakota Butt. Cameron Irvine back at SFL headquarters for just another fantastic job all around tonight. And the defense of Louisiana steps up there, and you're going to see them try to call a timeout here. So they'll stop the clock with 1:53 roughly to go.
Yeah, it's hard to watch, right? You use up your timeouts because it's the pragmatic thing to do, give yourself more time to try to make a comeback. But at this point, you are way out of reach for a comeback, and unless some weird miracle where you get 3 interception touchdowns in a row. But here comes Patak, though.
Oh, yeah, Patak, and he stays in bounds. They will take that second of 3 timeouts, and again, you can tell that the Nemesis here just really trying to put some more points on the board, continue this great productivity that they have found thus far in the game. And they line up with one receiver at the bottom of the screen, 2 men again in the backfield, tight ends there on the line. It's Doyle, who I believe goes in motion. And that'll bring up 4th and goal, and the final timeout by Louisiana. So there will not be much more clock stoppage after this. Let's take a look at Louisiana's upcoming opponents. We mentioned the Canton Classics. They will be hosting Canton at home. Then the next week, Indianapolis comes into town before they have a bye week. So a big, important series of games coming up for Louisiana, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've circled that Canton matchup, ever since Canton has been on fire all season long. And that'll be, not only an interesting match, that'll be an interesting challenge for them to try to answer, as Canton has been decimating everyone they've come across. I can tell me and my Vancouver Legion got demolished when we visited them. So a team to watch for sure. And Louisiana has their work cut out for them.
Most certainly, they'll want to go back to the drawing board and try to come up with a little more offensive productivity. One thing that we can say is their defense has looked great on a lot. I know, again, the score is not indicative of it, but a great job of that defense for a good portion of this game. Let's go to the SFL studios with Cameron Irvine once more.
How about this, Cameron Duty? 40-yard field goal. Mexico City fakes it. Navante Richardson with the catch. Mexico City would turn it into a touchdown. They're now down 38-31 with about 4 minutes to go. Back to you.
Thank you, Cam. What a game. What a finish setting up there in Mexico City. Be sure to check that one out at the conclusion of this one. A one-handed reception that time will keep this drive and the clock running for Louisiana. Utah back again to throw over the head of the intended target. So 2nd and 10, the clock stops with 1:25 left.
You know, the result of the Mexico game will be very interesting as far as standing goes, because both Louisiana and Mexico City Aztecs in the same division, both of them sitting at 2-2, and with Louisiana falling tonight in this game, Mexico City, if they lose to Baltimore, they'll actually be on top of Louisiana just because of net points.
Very interesting, and again, really fascinating to see how each and every play of this game and those going on at the same time can positively or negatively impact you. So Louisiana will be actually taking another loss tonight, as well as you mentioned, even with the points total, they will be falling behind to Mexico City potentially. Now 3rd and 10 for the resolution here. The revolution. We're about to have a resolution here. I'm getting tongue-tied. All righty. So the reception made by Twin Screw, and this drive will continue. Take a look at his stats real quick. They tried to get the ball to him, just really couldn't do it, Mark.
Yeah, 12 times thrown to only 5 catches.
That pass falls incomplete. 2nd and 10. And I tell you what, this Nemisphere crowd has really got an opportunity to see quite the display put on this 4th quarter by the home team. I know that Seattle fans alike really love what they are seeing this year.
Absolutely. You know, they knew that their offense was good. They had the good offense going, and I think this is like the start of the fruits of their labor showing.
Oh my
their
goodness.
defense too.
Yeah, Doug Day heading
Wow.
to daylight. Touchdown. Doug Day, Nemesis, and he's been knocking on the door, honestly, the whole game, Mark. He's been making big plays all around the field. And take a look at that with the leap into the Nemesis crowd right there. That's great stuff.
Wow. Well played by Doug Day. I mean, they've been playing almost zone all night, and, you know, just enough mixing of blitzes such that the run game is pretty much unproductive. And then suddenly, out of the blue, Doug Day finds himself behind the line of scrimmage to pick off a short pass, and that's lights out.
You know, I just want to go ahead and give that a nice hands catch, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K23. I mean, come on, a one-handed interception for a pick 6, you got to give it something.
With 52 points by Seattle, that's going to shoot them up the leaderboards as far as points for in the season. They were sitting at number 7 with 99 points total in the season, but 52 already in this one game. That is already more than half of their total points in the first 4 games.
Incredible stuff indeed. As you mentioned, there 38 points in one quarter, and there's still 57 minutes left or seconds left on the clock here. So who knows what might could happen? But you know, 52-10, Seattle 3-1 will go to 4-1. Louisiana to drop to 2-3, and you know, you're just looking at a tired football team right now in this revolution. Nevertheless, they keep chipping, trying to get some points and some yardage if possible. That pass will indeed fall incomplete. They've also tried spreading the ball around a little bit more, I feel like, getting that again to Napoli there, number 83. We've heard his name a couple of times in this game, still looking his direction.
Still without a catch thrown his way, has the 2 targets. Unfortunately, unable to haul one in. Twin Screw sitting at 98 yards, just under 100. We'll see if he gets any other extra yards here, as this time, Cameron, that's another incompletion forced by Seattle.
3rd and 10. And I'm going to put you on the spot, Mark, because this is a great opportunity to just talk about some games coming up and things that you might look forward to as a fan of football. And let's take a look at the Nemesis again. We talked about the upcoming teams that they have to play. Let's take a look at that Week 8 matchup as we have a fumble. Salmons picks it up, 4th and 18 as the clock stops. Take a look at that Week 8 matchup with the Minnesota Legend. That's one I think a lot of people have circled on their calendar. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams who have been, having a good start in the season, as this play is being reviewed. Yeah, Minnesota for sure. I also have that game circled. It's still a couple games down the road, a couple weeks down the road, but hey, these are two teams who have been dynamic. They have been exciting to watch, Cameron. Not your run-of-the-mill type of offense. They have been fun to watch, and I'm sure that game will also be fun to watch.
One thing to note, this will be Seattle's first, as the ruling on the field is overturned, this will be Seattle's first victory in this series. It was Louisiana who won. The only other time that these two teams have met was back in season 20. That was March of 23, week 9. So the series will also draw to 1-1. 4th and 10 now for Louisiana's last stand for sure, probably here. Banks in motion. They bring pressure. The pass is complete to Banks, still on his feet. Oh, he's got room to run. He stepped out of bounds with 44 seconds left. But, Banks is someone that you talk about maybe a silver lining. He's somebody who could really be of great, he's young with the team, just his second season here, 5 overall in the SFL, but he could really prove to be beneficial for them.
Yeah, with that completion, he has over 100 in this game. 4 catches, 9 targets. And the X factor of this game, unfortunately, coming a little too late for the game. And look at this. I think that's Banks again.
Yeah, it is. Banks once more, so padding his numbers as well. 35 seconds. Louisiana is without timeouts here. They spike it with 33 seconds remaining. But, let's talk about some of these players on this team. You talk about Salmons and really what a good season he has had thus far coming in. You look at Twin Screw, his first season coming over from being at Canton for so long. You've got, we mentioned Banks, De Niro, a lot of talent on this team that very well, if they can get things together, they could really do some damage.
Yeah, I do think they have the weapons. They got, 3 tight ends in their roster, pretty much gearing up for their run game, but also those are pretty good catching tight ends potentially. We just have not seen them produce much in this game. So yes, I think they do have things, the potential, the ceiling is there. They just have to clean things up a bit. There's probably something that they can go back on the drawing board as far as the playbook, as far as their play, playbook construction goes. But it's there. There are signs of good offense. That one touchdown drive was incredible by Tommy that he engineered.
It definitely was. Utah now to roll out another one-handed reception by Twin Screw and give it to these players. They have not stopped playing when they really could have laid down and gave it up. 9 seconds left. They snap the ball. They spike the ball, and you can tell they want to try to get some more points on the board before this game is over. And really, it is a matter of respect, honestly. You want to put some points on the board. You want to show you can move the ball down the field. And again, I think at this point, you want to just try to find some offensive chemistry before you get off the field.
Yeah, and sometimes a losing the blowout game is probably one of the best chances to do so.
Utah to the end zone, in and out of Twin Screw's hands. They'll probably get one more shot at it here with 5 seconds left in this game. Valentine with the great coverage.
And all credit goes to the Seattle defense, who have just been making the life of every single receiver difficult. Every single pass that wasn't wide open, it has been almost undoubtedly been an incompletion. You look at Tommy Utah's completion percentage, 38%, 38.6%. That's the effect of these defensive backs playing such good coverage.
Yeah, you don't call them the nemesis for nothing. 3rd and goal. Final play of this game, you would think. To the end zone, no. Touchdown. We will get a couple more minutes of SFL action here. Twin Screw does get the TD, and we'll take a look at this nice play. And again, Twin Screw, he's been knocking on the door most of the game trying to get back in the end zone.
Yeah, ends the evening with over 136 yards, 1 touchdown, thrown to 17 times, gets 8 of those targets. And I believe that is number 1 for him in the season as far as touchdowns go.
The extra point is good by Boudreaux, and with 2 seconds left, we will at least get a run back. Or an onside kick, if you will. The kick is up. It is caught. Let's go to a game update with Cameron Irvine, folks.
I just had to show this to you guys. This is how the Mexico City game ended. Baltimore recovers the onside kick and fumbles, but Baltimore recovers and will seal an unbelievable win, 45-38. To your end.
An incredible game
Wow.
in Mexico City. What a way for that one to end. We will definitely be checking out the replay of that one after this, no doubt, and I encourage you all to do the same. The final play of the game, a kneel down by Top Attack, and this game is in the books, 52-17. The Seattle Nemesis come away with the victory over Louisiana. Final thoughts, Mark Lopez?
It has been domination by Seattle's offense, but not before Louisiana had something to say, at least in the first 3 quarters. Here, either Seattle held to 14 in the first 3 quarters. That's pretty good if you ask me, defense-wise. And then that's just 38 points in 1 quarter. We might have to go to the record books to see the most points scored in a single quarter, because that is definitely going to be up there, if not at the very top. But you look at Louisiana, we talk about silver linings, it's there. The offense, there's been a couple drives where they were able to score. They have the weapons, and the defense can put up those numbers. They just have to, combine everything and tie everything up with the offensive production.
And with that, Mark, can you give me a player of the game before we leave tonight?
I'm going to give it to Type Attack, the obvious answer. He was balling out all night, and he will get my ball game of the evening.
Folks, that is going to do it from the Nemisphere. The Seattle Nemesis win tonight by a score of 52-17. Thank you to each and every one who has joined us for this SFL broadcast tonight. Thanks to Joshua Durr and Dakota Butts in the stats truck on the production end of things, Cameron Irvine. I am Cameron Duty, and for my partner, Mark Lopez, we will say good night, and we'll see you down the road. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.